Hey, it's August 5th, and we find ourselves in 2 Kings chapters 22 and 23, and 2 Chronicles chapters 34 and 35. We've all had that moment when we suddenly either remembered or learned something super important, whether it was our head popping up off the pillow, remembering that big test was today, realizing you left your kid at the store and you're already halfway home. I've heard that one. Or that facepalm moment when the truth becomes painfully obvious. King Josiah, the boy king of Judah, had one of those moments in today's passage. Josiah's grandfather, Manasseh, and his father, Ammon, were two of the most wicked kings in Judah's history. Josiah was not going to repeat their mistakes. We see in today's passage that Josiah did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, as King David had. In 2 Chronicles 34, we read that he began making godly religious reforms during the first 18 years of his reign. But Josiah's big wake-up moment happened in his 18th year as king. The priest Hilkiah found a copy of the Book of the Law, that would be the first 5 books of the Bible, Genesis through Deuteronomy, in the temple as they were repairing it. Josiah has read God's law and he tears his clothes. It's a sign of great distress in the culture. He realized that he and his people were not living according to God's law at all, and there were going to be consequences. Josiah immediately sends men to ask a prophetess, Huldah, if God was going to punish Judah for breaking God's law. Huldah says that God would punish Judah, but not during Josiah's reign, since he humbled himself before God and wanted to do things right. Josiah spends the rest of his life restoring the proper worship of God in Judah. Sadly, Josiah is the last godly king of Judah, and the final 4 kings will experience God's discipline from Egypt and Babylon as they lead Judah away from God once again. So what can we take away from today's passages? Just like there are consequences for sin, there are blessings for obedience for ourselves and others. Josiah's desire to live according to God's word and to lead his nation to do the same protected them from God's wrath for 31 more years. God has given us his word to regularly teach and remind us who he is, who we are, and how he created us to be. My prayer for us today is that we would regularly fill our mind with God's word and think deeply about what God has to teach us from it every day, so that we live according to it, first as an act of worship to God, but second, for the benefit of ourselves and those around us. If you haven't done so already, please download our Through the Bible reading plan at aspericommunitychurch.org/throughthebible. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.